So, what's the deal with Greenland? How did the world's largest, most remote island suddenly become this huge flashpoint in a global power struggle? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the fight for Greenland. And believe me, it's a wild story about resources, military power, and a nation that's determined to forge its own path. And we have to start here with this quote. It's about as blunt as it gets, right? These are the words Donald Trump reportedly used, and they really frame this whole thing not just as a real estate deal, but as a strategic must-have. And just like that, an issue that was kind of bubbling under the surface for decades was suddenly front-page news. And that really brings us to the big question we're digging into. How did this massive, ice-covered island, with a population that could literally fit inside a single football stadium, become such a critical piece on the global chessboard? Well, the answer is this fascinating mix of history, geography, and a climate that's changing faster than anyone expected. Now, to understand why this is all blowing up right now, we actually need to rewind the clock. Because as much as this story has been grabbing headlines lately, the idea of the United States buying Greenland, yeah, that's not new at all. I mean, look at this timeline. The US has had its eye on Greenland for over 150 years. The idea was first floated way back in the 1860s. Then in 1946, you had President Truman offering what was then $100 million for it. And of course, in recent years, Donald Trump has put the whole idea right back in the spotlight. So this is not some passing fancy. It's a deep, long-term strategic goal for the US. And this quote right here gets to the absolute heart of the matter. The argument from the administration is that this isn't just about land or resources. No, at its core, this whole push is about American national security in a world that is rapidly changing. But again, why has this simmered for so long and is only now boiling over? What is it about the 21st century that makes Greenland so incredibly valuable? Okay, let's peel back those layers. First off, it's just pure geography. Look at a map. Greenland is the physical bridge connecting North America and Europe. For centuries, that bridge was basically frozen solid, a massive icy barrier. But now, as all that polar ice melts, new doors are opening up, and its strategic value is just skyrocketing. And just look at what's actually there. The U.S. already operates the Patuxent space base, which is absolutely critical for missile defense. The island has the northernmost deep-water port in the world. As the ice recedes, brand new sea lanes are opening up, creating faster shipping routes. And then, under all that ice, a potential treasure trove of minerals. We're talking rare earth metals that are essential for everything from your smartphone to next-gen weapon systems. It's the perfect storm of military, economic, and logistical power all in one place. So with this explosion in strategic value, it's really no surprise that we've got a fundamental clash of interests on our hands. And it's between three key players, each with a completely different vision for what the future of this island should look like. And this is the voice you have to hear. It's the powerful, unified message coming from Greenland itself. You've got a population of just 57,000 people, but they are on a very determined path toward their own independence. They have absolutely no interest in just swapping one colonial-era power for another. And this chart just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the United States, which is looking at Greenland through the lens of national security. It's a strategic asset to be acquired. But on the other side, you have Greenland and Denmark, who see a nation with its own people and its own fundamental right to decide its own future. These two goals are just completely at odds. And make no mistake, the stakes here could not be higher. Denmark is a founding member of NATO, and they've made it crystal clear that this kind of aggressive pressure from the US isn't just some minor diplomatic tiff. It threatens the very foundation of the Western security alliance itself. But the story gets even more complicated, because it's not just about Washington, Copenhagen, and Nuuk. There are other major global powers watching this whole situation very closely. And there it is. That's the other shoe dropping. For the United States, the urgency here is driven by this zero-sum game mentality. The fear is that if the U.S. doesn't lock down Greenland, its biggest rivals, Russia and China, will swoop in and gain a massive strategic foothold right in America's backyard. This whole dynamic basically turns the Arctic into what military strategists call a grand chessboard. It's not this remote, empty, icy wilderness anymore. No way. It's now an arena for intense competition, where getting control of a piece like Greenland could actually tip the global balance of power. But don't think for a second that Greenland is just some passive pawn on this chessboard. Their leaders have made it very clear. They need investment to build their independent future. And if their Western partners don't show up with real offers, well, they'll be forced to look elsewhere, which is a pretty clear signal that Chinese money is an option they are very much willing to explore. So all of this brings us to the final critical tension at the very heart of this story. And it's a conflict we're seeing play out not just in the Arctic, but really all over the world right now. You see, Greenland is walking an absolute razor's edge here. They're pushing for full independence, which could potentially take them outside of the NATO security blanket. They're trying to fix a defense cap that many feel was created by Danish neglect. And while they're doing all that, they have to somehow attract enough foreign investment to build their new nation without becoming a puppet for another superpower. It's an incredible balancing act. And that's really the powerful question we're left with, isn't it? As the world gets more competitive and more fractured, the struggle over Greenland forces us to ask, who really gets the final say over a country's destiny? Is it the people who live there, or is it the global powers that surround them? That's a question that is probably going to define international politics for years to come.